And we're live.
And we're live. Scott, how are we doing? Welcome back, sir. You were missed.
We
You were
are
missed.
great. Yes. Sorry for my absence. We're doing great. I was gone for a good reason. The birth of my first daughter, first daughter. Very exciting. Very exciting. So we're going to keep this show short and sweet. Just keep it short and sweet because at any moment she could wake up. She could need a feeding. My wife's a rock star. She's holding her right now. So we'll keep it short and sweet. Get into the first game of the week here. Feels good to be back. I'd also like to point out the fact that, yes, I'm caring for a newborn child. At the same time, I'm carrying the weight of the badge for the second week in a row. Just had to throw that out there. Okay, first game. It's a good week for us, week five. My Steelers are on a bye, so that's fine. Didn't want to talk about them anyways. But let's get into the Lions Bengals here. Um, Look, this one's pretty straightforward for me. Cincinnati is struggling without Joe Burrow. Offensively, Jamar Chase, he has 264 yards and one touchdown on the year. He has one productive game. Week two against the Jaguars, he had 165 yards receiving and one touchdown. The other three games, he has not broken 50 yards receiving. So struggling there. This Lions team is rolling. They have a decent defense. I think that Cincinnati's going to struggle here up front. They're going to get to the QB. The Lions are going to put the pressure on. I just don't see how the Lions lose this game, one, but the spread's at 9.5. It's a little sketchy for me. It's a lot of points. The Bengals do have offensive weapons. T. Higgins, Chase Brown, they can score points. Doesn't mean they will. For that reason, I'm going to take the over 49.5 here. I just think the Lions are going to put up a lot of points. They could put up 42 themselves, and then we just need one little touchdown and a backdoor field goal to get it done. So I like the over 49.5 here. What say you, Miami?
I'm on Matt's Lions. I'm going Lions minus 10.5. I'm not worried about the number. I think they're going to handle this one pretty good. They were able to put up some points against a really good Browns defense last week. This Bengals defense is one of the worst in the league. You mentioned the offense is dead last actually in the league in production right now. So yeah, give me the Lions minus 10.5 to keep it rolling and keep pushing. Yeah, Bengals are in a hard place right now without Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Mr. Willie G in the chat at 1 p.m. That's great to see you here. We're doing a little early,
We
obvious
love it.
reasons. The 7 p.m. time is right around when my daughter eats and goes to bed, so that won't be happening. But thanks for being here, Willie. Really appreciate it.
Willie, appreciate it, Willie. So next game we got the Buccaneers taking on the Seahawks. Scott, who do you like here?
I got a question for you on this one, Miami. Please
What do you
explain
got?
the line to me. Because the line, for the
Baker.
people that don't know, right now is Bucks plus 3.5, and I don't understand why.
Well, Baker Mayfield is a little banged up. He had a bicep injury last week that he was playing through. Now he's got like a knee thing that he's got going on. I'm sure he's got other stuff too that they're not telling anybody about. And then you look at the injury issues they got at wide receiver still. Mike Evans is going to be out again with the hamstring for this one. So they're going back with Egbuka. Godwin will be back though for him. Sterling Shepard's battling something injury wise. Bucky Irving, I think, is battling a foot injury in this one. So I think that's why you're seeing that line. I think they're just trying to kind of cover their tracks just in case some of these guys don't go. But I don't know. I kind of I lean towards the under in this one. Surprise, surprise. But I'm gonna go Seahawks minus 3.5 here. That hook, that extra half point hook, could come back to get me. But I think the Seahawks are able to handle this one at home in probably an ugly game. Seasons are starting to change a little bit. That rain is starting to lurk over there in Seattle, so it's a different factor once that starts to happen. But yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Fair enough. There's some injuries. It's you're banged up, but that's part of football. Yes, it's early in the season. I think
Next man up. Next man up.
all the players you mentioned, besides Mike Evans, are going to play for sure. They're not going to sit. They might be banged up, but let's take a look here. They were banged up last week. Evans was out last week, but they were productive. Yes, they had a late touchdown to make it 31-25 against the Eagles, but it's still against the Eagles, they put up 25 points. Before that, they were averaging over 21 points a game against good defenses in the Falcons, the Texans, and the Jets. Seahawks, I don't think their defense is any better than those teams. It's definitely not better than Philadelphia. So I don't quite understand this line. I think it might be for what you're saying. There could be some injuries coming in later in the week. But for now, I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the Bucs plus 3.5. I think that this game could be high scoring. It could come down to a final drive. And if anyone's going to do it right now, it is this Bucs team. I just don't see how they don't stay within 3.5 points here.
It's fair. It's very fair. All right, so we got the next Cowboys taking on the Jets in the Meadowlands, so somewhere they're very familiar playing. Scott, what do you like in this one?
I absolutely hate this, but I think it might be the Cowgirls for me. The tie was gross against the Packers last week, but from the Cowboys' perspective, for me, that is a win for the Cowboys, getting that half victory there against a very good Packers team. And the Packers honestly blew that game. Bad time management at the end. They almost didn't even have a chance to tie it up with that final throw they had with the second left. But look, right now, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, they're kind of getting it together. And Javonte has been fabulous for the Cowboys, way better than I thought he'd be. I wish I picked him up in fantasy. Jets DBs, Sauce, they've been good, but they haven't been great. And I think you find yourself having to guard two elite wide receivers that can catch the ball and manipulate their bodies, and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So I like the Cowgirls here. It's gross, but give me the girls minus 2.5. I just think this Jets team they're missing one piece before they can be trusted. And right now the Cowboys offense is kind of clicking. So I'm going to go with the team that's got the stronger offense in the girls.
All right. Believe it or not, this may shock you. I like points. I like points
Ooh.
in this one. All right. Give me the over 47.5. Cowboys have the worst defense in the league right now, giving up 430 yards a game on defense, 123 on the ground. Jets are the third best rushing team in the league right now, getting over 140 a game. Justin Fields should be back for this one. He's had some issues with concussions and stuff, so he should be ready to go in this one. I think that they'll have success on the ground. I think Breece Hall will have a really good game for them. Garrett Wilson will start to get going, because you look on that opposite side with the Cowboys, you sort of mentioned what they did well last week, but what they did bad was, they still gave up 40 points as a defense. Trayvon Diggs was hurt. He came out, but he's also not having the best year. Deron Bland's having injury issues over there. So they have a lot of issues going on the defensive side of the ball. We know they lost CeeDee Lamb on offense. I'm not too worried about the offense being able to score, though, on this Jets defense. They have nothing really to write off about. Sauce Gardner, you mentioned him. He in my opinion, he's not really held up to where they drafted him. He's got to kind of take that next step. He's had some games where he's had some setbacks. They do have an absolute dog in Quinnen Williams in the defensive line, so that should pose a problem, but at least a little bit for Javonte Williams. But when you have Dak Prescott and you're able to air it out to George Pickens down the sideline, Kevontae Turpin with his speed, Jake Ferguson, I think you're right. I think Cowboys are the side on this one. But yeah, give me the points.
Look at you coming around, getting some points.
Oh,
puts a smile on my face.
And don't get used to it.
Okay, moving on here, we got the Broncos versus the Eagles, an exciting matchup for Week 5, probably one of the best matchups this week. Look, Philadelphia is an absolute wagon. The Denver Broncos have a decent defense, one of the league's top defenses, but it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I think from an Eagles perspective, this is just the wagon playing another game. From the Broncos perspective, this is a real test for them. If their defense can perform well against a high-powered Philly offense, who is struggling right now, and if their offense can score points against a really good, stingy Eagles front, then the Broncos might be what we thought they'd be at the beginning of the year. I believe you said the Broncos might win their division, and it's looking like they've got a chance here with struggles from Kansas City. So when it comes down to it, for me, the key here is Saquon has got to get out of this rut he's in. He's averaging around 60 yards rushing a game and 18 yards receiving, so around 80 yards scrimmage, versus last year he was 130 plus per game with some touchdowns. So if Saquon can break out here, I really, really like Philly to get rolling. The problem is the Broncos defense is very good. We'll see what happens, but for me, I'm going to go with my better bird of the week, the Philadelphia Eagles at -3.5. I just think that they find ways to win. Right now, their special teams they're blocking a field goal a game on average right now, or a punt. So that could be a factor here. There's three components to the game, and if you can control two of them defensively and special teams, you don't even have to worry about your offense, which is also good for Philadelphia. So, yeah, give me Philly here. What do you think?
I think we got a head-to-head here, buddy. I'm going with the
Ooh, there we go.
Broncos plus 3.5. I just don't really have faith in this Philly team right now. Yes, they are winning, but there's just something off. I don't really like what's going on. You're disappearing. You're doing a Casper. It's October.
Sorry. Checking my phone here, people. I gotta stay alert.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't have faith in him. I don't like what's going on with AJ Brown right now. You know, he could be on his way out pretty soon. And that's supposed to be, Jalen Hurts' guy. They're just not finding him in the offense. Saquon, you mentioned his struggles. You take Dallas Goedert out of this game off this team, and it's a completely different ball game for Eagles now.
Hey, I got a question for you. Speaking of offensive struggles, we're going to play another game. This is not tell me what's going on with the line. This is tell me what's going on with the key offensive player in your team, and this might be coming from a point of on my fantasy team, and he's blowing games for me. Can you please explain to me why A.J. Brown is not getting the ball here?
I don't have an answer for you. I don't have an answer for you. I wish I did, but I really don't. He should be getting the ball. He's one of the best receivers in the league, probably top 3, top 5, easily, arguably.
1.7 points. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But, maybe he'll get the ball this week because some of those guys, they are having some injury issues over there for Philly. Dallas Goedert, he's questionable with a knee. Lane Johnson, right tackle, he's questionable with a shoulder. Quez Watkins, he's questionable. You got guys on the defense that are already ruled out. Adoree Jackson's questionable. Jalen Carter's questionable with a shoulder. So a little bit of issues. Like you said, it's football. It's next man up. Especially for the Eagles, they're a pretty deep team, so they should be okay. But I don't really have faith in them right now on offense or defense. I don't like what I see in the run game. I don't like what I see on defense with explosive plays. Give me the Broncos. I'm going to take the better defense.
We've got a madman.
Keep your better bird. Broncos plus 3.5.
There's a reason I am up quite a bit on the picks here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is one of them right there. You're a madman for that pick.
That's fair. Could be very true. All right, next game. Well, you're not going to like this one either. Patriots are taking on the Bills, and I'll just go ahead and
the Patriots here.
I'm just gonna say it. Patriots plus 7.5.
Oh my God.
Stephon Diggs revenge game. He's also on my fantasy team, and he hasn't done shit all year long. So this is his breakout. He had a little bit of a one last week. He had a pretty good game. They finally started throwing it to him a little bit. It's to get him revved up, get him ready for this one. Going back to Buffalo, they're going to be booing him. He's going to be ready. Give me the Patriots plus 7.5 to keep it close. Josh Allen actually isn't too great in his career against the Patriots, believe it or not. I think he's only like 7-6 all time. Just saying. But who do you have? I mean, I know who you have, but
who do I have?
Why do you have them?
Who do I have? The point of this, what we're doing here, Mr. Miami Mike, we're talking about the game of football and what we think is going to happen in these games. And look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a miracle happens in Buffalo. They're playing in Buffalo, a Bills team that is unstoppable right now.
I didn't say money line. I did not say money line. All right. I just want to be clear with that. I do not care.
I would take him at up to 10.5 here. I just do not understand. Yes, it's a division game. Yes, I get it. Yes, I understand the Patriots just absolutely destroyed a team last week. But let's keep our heads on here. The Patriots have not played the Bills yet. This Bills team is rolling on every single level of the game. Yes, I do like Stephon Diggs to get a touchdown here. I don't hate it. But the Bills are going to be up by 3 scores, so it will not matter. This offense cannot be stopped. The Patriots don't have the defense for it. Yes, Vrabel is going to do everything he can. And if there is a team and a head coach that will be ready for it, it is Vrabel and the Patriots. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Josh Allen right now is just unstoppable. He is the best player in football right now. The team around him is built for it. He's got a great offensive line. They don't have too many injuries. Keon Coleman's looking good. Dalton Kincaid back to exactly where he left off before his injuries last season. James Cook looking great. He's going to get in the end zone. I do not understand how you could be crazy enough to take the Patriots and the points here. You're just an absolute madman. In Buffalo, on the road against these crazy individuals. I have been there. I've seen what they do. They are mad men in the stands. They're just crazy there. The Bills Mafia is going to be out and about. The Bills are just going to rout this team. Give me the Bills minus 7.5. Give me them at 8.5. Give me them at 9.5, 10.5. It doesn't matter. The Bills by $1 billion here, and it's not going to be close.
Oh, man. Okay, well, you heard it, folks. So, yeah, Patriots plus 7.5 is probably not the play based off of what you you know, you look at your record, though. You're right. You may have that medal. It's not it's better than me. It's much better than me. It's much better than me. And you could be very right. You could be very. Isn't that the primetime game too? Isn't that the Sunday night football game?
You're going to bet against Josh Allen under the lights. You're a madman.
All right. Anyway, I'm sticking to my guns. Texans are taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is doubtful with a hamstring, and that's why the Ravens are a home underdog in this one by 2.5 points. Total sitting at 43.5. I'm going to go with the Ravens plus 2.5. Even if Lamar doesn't play, Cooper Rush is going to come in. He's seasoned. He's been around for a long time, albeit with the Cowboys. And typically the Ravens, when they, have had a backup for Lamar, like Tyler Huntley in the past, Josh Johnson, they had a guy that was sort of similar. It obviously wasn't Lamar, but it was a guy that was a little bit more similar to his, playing style. Cooper Rush is not that. He is not going to, despite his last name, he's not going to run the football very often and have that ability. But the reason that I'm on the Ravens plus 2.5 is because of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry in his career absolutely owns the Houston Texans. He averages over 100 yards a game against the Houston Texans. I think they're going to absolutely feed him. They're going to rely on him. He has a huge chip on his shoulder now, off of those fumbles and basically costing that game against the Chiefs. Give me the Ravens plus 2.5 at home as the home dog, whether Lamar plays or not. Also, look for this is exactly the type of game where Cooper Rush comes in for Lamar. The Ravens win and they look good doing it. And now all of a sudden there's, maybe we don't need to pay Lamar anymore. Because isn't he still in contract negotiations? I'm pretty sure he is. And they paused that going into the season. And they weren't able to get a deal done. So all of a sudden, Cooper Rush starts to play and they start to win. And they start to think that they don't need him to win. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of issues. Especially with the record already being at 1-3. A lot of issues potentially coming out of Baltimore. And I would love to see it. Lamar, we'd love to have you in South Florida, brother. I just want you to know that.
There it is.
You're from there. It's your home. Come on back. Come on
I
back.
knew there
we'll
was
send Tua.
something.
We'll send Tua anywhere. Tua can go back to Hawaii. They can start an NFL pro team there. You can tell them that there's an NFL pro team there. Send him on back. All right? Lamar, do the right thing, okay? When they start chatting about Cooper Rush after this game, come on down. Take your talents to South Beach. Technically Miami Gardens. Scott, what do you like here?
Look, I agree with a lot of what you said here. The Ravens are 4-0 at the spread the last 4 against the Texans. And this game for the Ravens, in my opinion, is a season-changing game for Baltimore. If they lose this game and go 1-4 in the AFC North, it's going to be very difficult for them to climb into a playoff spot, mainly
Yeah.
because as the trend is going right now, the Steelers are sitting, happily at the top, which is a surprise to me. So now they get a fight to get that playoff spot for the division win. And on top of that, that wild card spot, you're fighting the Colts, you're fighting the Chargers, you're fighting the Broncos, who are going to, maybe they win, maybe they don't win. But there's a lot of contention for the wild card spot. And 1-4 start, it's going to be really tough to climb out. So they have to win this game, in my opinion. This is a must-win game. Lamar's hammy is hurt. In my opinion, I think he's going to play, but they're going to take away the mobility that he's usually has for the games in free running. I think he's only going to be told to, hey, if you got to scramble, you got to scramble, or just take the sack. That's taking away a third of the Ravens' offense, in my opinion. So you mentioned it. You're going to be relying heavily on Derrick Henry here, and you're going to be relying on Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, likely is back. Those players are going to have to step up and keep the offense productive here. I think if Lamar plays, I like Lamar to have one of his games where he throws for over 250 here, maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns. It happens once or twice a year where he's not running and passing the same amount. So I like him in the pocket here. A rare air dominant game from the Ravens. I do love the Ravens here. They own the Texans, but I do like the Texans' offense is coming alive a little bit. They're starting to get things together here in week 5. So for me, I like both teams to score points here. I do love the Ravens, but I'm going to take the over 43.5. It seems a little low for me. I think it's an easy over. Whether it's Rush or Lamar, I think some points get on the board here. Yes, that was a burp.
All right. I like it. I like the points. This next one we got over in London. The Vikings are staying overseas to take on the Browns. Vikings are sitting as a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think being over there for a week longer, being more acclimated to what's going on, being able to practice, get a little more comfortable, I think that plays dividends in this game. And the Browns' offense is atrocious. They're starting Dylan Gabriel in this one for his first career start over Shedeur Sanders. They bench Joe Flacco. It'll be really interesting to see how long of a leash they give Dylan Gabriel before they either go back to Flacco or give Shedeur a shot. I think it's going to be the Vikings all day long. Brian Flores' defense is going to be ready for it. Kevin O'Connell, you give him a week to be more comfortable with Carson Wentz. They've run in the ones, the QB guru. I think the Vikings will come out ready to play. They're going to feed Justin Jefferson. He should be healthy, full go for this one. He's been dealing with some on-off stuff at the beginning of this year. Myles Garrett is questionable for the Browns right now. He'll probably end up going, but he is questionable. Give me the Vikings minus 3.5 overseas, Scott. What do you got?
Yeah, I like it. Look, long travel for the Browns. The Vikings got to stay there after the Dublin game against Pittsburgh last week. When it comes down to it, the Browns can't do anything offensively. I do not think the Vikings come out hot. However, like you mentioned, I think the Vikings slow play this game offensively. It is not only their identity, but the Browns defense is very good. Yes, they were exposed against the Lions, but that's the Lions. I think if the Vikings are either ahead or if they're within 10 points going into the fourth quarter, they always make a push at the end of the game. And simply, the Browns have a stout run defense. The Vikings' weapons are through the air. That's the key. Jefferson, he's averaging around 6 catches, just under 100 yards a game with only 1 touchdown in week 1 on the season. I think you feed Jefferson here. You got to get him in the end zone. You rely on Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson to stay as really good role players here and move the ball. But if the Vikings come out and they air raid it here, I think they take this one easily. Vikings minus 3.5.
Yep, love it. Yeah, Jordan Addison being back in that offense is going to be massive as an option. Getting back in another week, getting a little bit more full go. I think he only had 4 catches in his first game back. 8 targets, though. Justin Jefferson had 10 catches on 11 targets last week for 126. Addison on his 4 catches, by the way, for 114 for our prop people out there. So I agree totally 100% with you, Vikings. Next, we got the Commanders making the trip to the West Coast to take on the Chargers. What do you like here?
What I do like here is Evelyn in the chat midday. Welcome, Evelyn. Good to see you.
Evelyn.
I will say the Salamanders are slimy. They're sneaky. They're very good when their entire team is healthy. They're struggling in some parts. You know, you got Scary Terry, everything that's going on with him. You got Jaden Daniels out. So once they get back full strength and their full team is off these injuries, I think this would have been a really good game this week against a stout Chargers team that's playing really well. But right now, I think the Chargers are just too much. Um, Lad McConkey struggled last week. The only reason I bring that up is because he had another 2-point game on my fantasy team. So I need him to do something here. Um, I think the Chargers just outscore this Commanders team. I think they just got a lot going on right now. I'm not worried about the Commanders making a push into the postseason. I just think they need to heal up. And the Chargers right now, um, I think they're just going to be too much offensively. Now I do think the Commanders are going to put up points, and that is why I'm going with over 48.5 in this game. I love the Chargers, but I think there's going to be a ton of points. So I'm going to go with, in my opinion, the easy pick, over 48.5. But Chargers, if you take a money line, 2.5 earlier in the week, I just love it.
Give me the under. Give me the under 48.5 here for a true head-to-head on the totals. I like the Chargers defense a lot in this one. I think the Commanders will be able to shut down Justin Herbert's passing ability a little bit. Give me the under. I don't think Jaden Daniels, even if he does go, he's going to be, fully capable to do what he needs to. That's going to play a factor for the Commanders. I like your Chargers lean there, and that might be something we got to discuss further. But, yeah, give me the under. It's ugly, but just feels right, Scott. Just feels right.
You know what? What's right is another free tick mark in the lose column for me.
Yeah, whatever, dude. All right, next we got Titans and the Cardinals. Titans are going over to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. I'm going to quote Cam Ward on this one. The Titans, call it what it is, Titans are ass. Point blank period. Give me the under 42.5. I think this is the Cardinals game to lose 100%. I think the Titans will come to play a little bit, more so than what we've saw, and kind of keep the Cardinals close. But I don't see either one of these teams scoring, over 25 points. So give me the under 42.5 here, Scott. What do you got?
I disagree with your 20 points there. I do think the Titans might come to play a little bit. There's no reason to talk about them then. We know that they're absolutely trash. We've said it for 4 weeks now, so we don't have to talk anymore about them. I don't want any of their fans to feel bad. They are, but they are. Look, they're coming off a goose egg against the Texans, so offensively, I think that they're going to have some fun, maybe lighten up a bit and say, hey, we've got to find a way to get points on the board here because you cannot go back-to-back goose eggs in the NFL. You just cannot do it. So I do like the Titans to be a little feisty on offense and put up some points, but the Cards have been productive. Against some decent defenses in Seattle and the 49ers. They haven't put up crazy amounts of points, but they're scoring. They do have some injuries, but I think Murray, McBride, they keep the offense alive here. It's their game to lose, like you mentioned. I do think the Titans put up some points, but I think it's going to be like a 30-10, 30-13 type game for the Cards here. So give me the Cardinals -7.5. I think it's an easy win for the Cardinals. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, that is scary to say. The easy win. Sometimes there's a sneaky backdoor cover, but that's usually when you have a better team than the Titans.
That's probably pretty true. But Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty, it's on the horizon, Scott. So Kyle, he could be practicing.
He's a dog when the Call of Duty comes out.
We got 3 games left here for
hold on 1 second.
Live show.
1 second. I just for those of you.
We don't need to comment on that.
And for those of you on the podcast, I just want to shout out here, Evelyn, shouting out that I have the badge on my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have the Giants taking on the Saints, making the trip to New Orleans to do so. Give me the Saints money line. I'm not sold on Jackson Dart yet. I get the hype. They won the game. Whatever. Dude had 110 yards passing. He had a nice rushing touchdown. Awesome. Give me the Saints money line in New Orleans. It's going to be a different environment. He's not going to have that home crowd at his back. It's going to be loud in there. I have faith in Spencer Rattler to be able to throw the ball on this Giants defense and Alvin Kamara to finally sort of get going in the ground game here. Give me the Saints at home. The Saints will come marching in this Sunday against the G-Men. Scotty boy, who do you have?
Listen, those of you on the podcast, I'm shaking my head here because this is the third pick this week that I just think Miami is absolutely crazy on. Shout out to Caleb in the chat. Yes, early show. We just had to get things going with everything going on my side. But look, the Saints might come marching in, but they're going to get crushed by the Giants. And here's why. The Giants, I'm not saying are a very good team yet. The Saints are the Saints. We know what the Saints are. Okay, they're just about average. And the Giants are about where they're at as well. But you make a change at quarterback. Yes, Dart didn't put up crazy numbers, but what he did do was bring some electric atmosphere to the team. Now, you already had Scataboo. 2 words, scat space aboo. The guy is here. He's electric. He is dominating on the field. Maybe the yards and touchdowns don't show up, but watch the way he plays. Every time he touches the ball, it's full steam ahead. He's throwing players around, and the team around him sees it. He's bringing a fun, electric leadership mentality atmosphere to this team. And now you have Dart, who's doing the same thing. They're having fun. Defensively, they're not playing bad. Yes, they're not playing out of this world, but that fun factor is going to bring the team together. I bet the Giants right now are having a very solid atmosphere in the locker room. They're coming together. For that reason, I like them to be a little sneaky here. I want the Giants in the points, Giants plus 1.5. I took a money line. You told me that I could get points. I'll take the points as well. I just think the Giants versus the Saints, this is Giants all day with everything they have going. They're coming together as a team. If it was Giants versus the Eagles, it's a different conversation. But right now, I like the Giants to continue to get better week over week.
I see it, Joseph. Yes, taking the Saints is kind of crazy. You gotta be a little crazy.
You should have seen. Go back.
You gotta be a little crazy.
Rewind. There's some crazy. He has done some wild things this week. You need
I
to
have
rewind.
I have to take some chances. All right, I have to take some chances. But this is also thorough research that has brought me to these conclusions. Okay, this guy's dealing with a newborn. All right, how much time has he had? How much time has he had to really break down these games? That's all I'm saying. All right.
You're not. Not only that.
He's had a decent year. I'll admit it. He's had a decent year. This week's different. This week could be different. It's a different week.
I'd like to tell the people something. You're not wrong. I've also only had like 3 hours of sleep a night. But last week, which is the first week of newborn, born on the 24th, I went 7-5. I went 7-5. I had a positive week with very little sleep. We can only go up from here.
It was impressive. I will not deny. All right, 2 games left here for the YouTube show. We got the Raiders taking on the Colts in Indy. Give me the Raiders plus 6.5.
Oh my God! It's just pick after pick here.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Geno Smith is gonna be in a dome, so he's gonna be nice and fine. You got your guy Kenny Moore, Valdosta State. He's hurt. He's dealing with an Achilles issue, which is nothing to mess with. I don't think he's going to end up going because if he wants to play the rest of the year, he shouldn't. I think he's a big factor for that secondary. He's a proven factor for that secondary. Without him, Geno Smith, I think, is going to be able to find success with Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. Brock Bowers should be a full go in this one. Ashton Genty, I think, will finally be able to start getting something going here against this Colts defense as well. Give me the Raiders plus 6.5. Also, the Raiders, you mentioned some of these teams earlier. They're in a do-or-die situation a little bit right now. Pete Carroll did not come back to rebuild a team. He came back to basically stock one and make a run. And they're not doing that right now. So something's got to give. I think that they come together this one. I think 6.5 is just a bit too many points. Do I think they win this one outright? But I think they get this cover. And if you want to be safe about it, take the hook up to 7. just to give yourself a little bit of insurance. But I think the Raiders are good here at 6.5. Scott hates it. He hates everything I do, dude. He's just a hater. But remember, the lack of sleep. It's key. It's key. Scott, what do you got?
I'm still shaking my head. Another pick that is just off the walls for me. And look, I'm going to talk a lot, and I really hope all four of these go my way, and I can just rub it in next week. But the Raiders, they've been productive. But let's just talk about what these two teams have done. So the Raiders have lost 3 in a row. Okay, their only win coming to New England in Week 1. Then they lost 20-9 against the Chargers. Good defense, good offense. Then they lost 41-24 against Washington. Understandable, great team. Then they lose 25-24 on a blocked field goal against the Bears, who are not a good team. Now let's go to the Colts. The Colts started 3-0, waxed Miami 33-8. They beat a really good Denver team 29-28, which Denver did win that game. They lost on a bad call, but still, we talked about it, 29 points against Denver. Then they routed Tennessee 41-20. Then they played a really good Rams team last week and lost 27-20. So still productive, not to mention Kenny Moore and some other key players were out last week against that Rams team, and they still played well. They held that Rams team to 27 points, which is pretty good in my opinion. They're an explosive offense. So you're going to tell me the Raiders are going to outscore the Colts here. We've seen them put up points. Okay. Danny Dimes is slinging. They've got some players. Jonathan Taylor's going to score. Pittman's going to show up. And they've got Warren at tight end, a great pickup. The Colts team continues to impress me, and they're coming off a tough loss where the team played well. The D's playing well. Yes, they're missing key players like Kenny Moore, but I think that they're doing enough against a Raiders team here. But the Raiders can score. Bowers is back. Healthy Gentry, 3 touchdowns last week, 1 rushing, 2 in the air. For that reason, points here. I think the Colts cover, but man, I'm going with points. I like this. Could be right now, it's over 47.5. This could easily be a 65 point game. I think there's going to be a ton of points here. Give me the over. But I like the Colts. You know, if I was making a pick head to head, it'd be Colts all day, but I'm going to go with the easy win here, over 47.5.
Interesting how you think there's going to be points, potentially 65, but the Raiders also can't score. You see, folks, I'm telling you, you got to watch the sleep schedule sometimes.
I didn't say they couldn't score. I just said they can't keep up with the Colts offense. Go back to the beginning.
Run the tape back.
Run the tape back. I said they can't keep up with the Colts offense.
We have the Dolphins taking on the Panthers for our last game of the week. I don't know how this ended up as the last game of the week. It should have been the first one. We should have gotten this one out of our way early. Is that helmet? Let me just cover that up a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right. Panthers plus 1.5. Fire everybody for the Dolphins. I still stand by what I said. McDaniel, the head coach, he's got to go. Chris Greer, the GM, got to go. Stephen Ross, owner, just sell the team. Let somebody else deal with it. Tua, like I said, you got to get him out of there. We need space for Lamar next year. So Panthers plus 1.5. Let's keep it alive. Keep the Dolphins in the tank. Tank to fire. That's the plan in Miami right now. Tank to fire. Panthers plus 1.5.
That's a great plan. This game's about as exciting as watching me change my newborn's diaper. This is my turd of the week. Both these teams are questionable. They can't be trusted. Look, when it comes down to it, the Panthers beat a good Falcons team in a fluke 30-0 and then got mocked by New England by 4 scores. Miami looked good against the Jets, finding use of Darren Waller, but that's the first sign of offensive production we've seen this entire season. And I think that was just a fluke as well against a sorry Jets team. Their defense is beyond suspect. Get some high schoolers to play for you. And now you got the most explosive player on your team out with a horrific leg injury. So wishing Tyreek Hill the best. And the best way to explain this game for me is, I guess I'll go with the Panthers in the points because both these teams just cannot be trusted. Less injuries, give me the points. That's the only reason.
That's fair. I mean, it's going to be a toss-up. Dolphins could win this game, but no, I'm not. You're crazy if you bet on the Dolphins. As a favorite?
You're crazy.
As a road
crazy.
favorite?
Crazy.
No way. No way. Bryce Young should have 300 yards in this game. Should be one of those games where you're like, oh, Bryce Young is a good quarterback. Yeah, that's this game right here. Here's your recap, real fast. I am on the
Going to be a big
Lions
week for
minus
me.
10.5. Scott's on the over. We got a head-to-head there in the Seahawks-Bucks game. I'm on the over in the Cowboys Jets. Scott likes the Cowboys. We are on a
Cowgirls.
head-to-head in Broncos Eagles, head-to-head in Patriots Bills. I'm on the Ravens.
There it
Scott's
is.
on the
The
over in that
Patriots
game
against the
against the
Bills.
Texans. We're both on the Vikings over there overseas in the morning game against the Browns. I'm on the under in a head-to-head against him with the over for the Chargers Commanders game. He likes the Cardinals minus 7.5. I got the Titans Cardinals under 42.5. We got another head-to-head here. I got the Saints. Scott's got the Giants, and I got the Raiders, and Scott's got the over there, and then we're both on Big Purr down there in Carolina to get it done against the Dolphins, plus 1.5. Rough stuff.
You smell that?
Stuff.
No, it's not a dirty diaper. It's a 10-2 week, baby. We're gonna have a big week here. I can't wait to see it.
Hey, I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see that for you, but I'd love it even more if it was on my side because we need to get back right. A 10-2 week, I'd still be negative. We need a 10-2 week on this side of the screen. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, thank y'all for watching. We are gonna jump to the podcast now. We got 2 bonus games there to talk about. Thank you for jumping on. It was a day show here, and not typical, but thank you for Scott for making it happen around his schedule with his newborn Emmy. And we'll free him shortly to go back and do his fatherly duties. But yeah, thanks for everybody watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Podcast people, give us that 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week. Good luck. Scott, anything you want to say before we switch off to the podcast?
Nope, you said it. Thanks for getting the chat here, the midday podcast and YouTube. Really appreciate it, everyone listening. So no, you said it. Thanks. I am starting to fall asleep. I am suffering here.
All right.